Hi Riley, thanks for sending your question. The very first thing that we want to do when we're graphing a rational function is see if we can factor it. Can't factor anything here, so we're good on that step. The next thing we want to do is go ahead and find our vertical asymptotes and our holes. Our vertical asymptotes will occur everywhere that the denominator is equal to 0 after you factor it and cancel. So it looks like the denominator is equal to 0 at x equals 5. So that's what I'm going to write for my vertical asymptote. Holes occur at places where after you factor, if you get canceled factors, we don't have any of those here, so we don't have to worry about it. Horizontal asymptotes or slant asymptotes. For that, we're going to go ahead and we are going to look at these first two terms. So on the top and the bottom, I'm going to check what is the exponent of the first term on the top. It looks like it's 1. And what is the exponent for the first term on the bottom? It looks like it's 1. It's just x to the 1 in both cases. If they are the same, if the exponents are the same for the first term on the top and the bottom, you have a horizontal asymptote. And your horizontal asymptote is going to be given by dividing those two terms. So let's go ahead and take the numbers in front of them. So the number in front of the x on top is a 2. The number in front of the x on bottom is a 1. I have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 2. Okay, let's find our y-intercepts. Super easy. Let's just go ahead and put in 0 for x. If you put in 0 for x, you'll see that we get -1 over -5. So our y-intercept occurs at x equals 0, y equals 1/5. And to find our x-intercept, we have to set the whole equation equal to 0. Whoops. Okay, so we're going to set it equal to 0. And we can cross multiply the denominator up. And as you can see, it just disappears because anything multiplied by 0 is 0. So we just get 2x minus 1 is equal to 0. Let's add 1 to both sides. And we'll get 2x is equal to 1, so x is equal to 1/2. We have an x-intercept at 1/2, 0. All right, let's graph this puppy. Let's go ahead and put in our asymptotes first. We have a vertical asymptote at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, x equals 5. So I'm going to do my very best to try and draw this straight. And we're going to want to label that on our graph. A horizontal asymptote occurs at y equals 2 over 1 or just 2. So at y equals 2, I'm going to go ahead and put a dotted line, and I will label that. And it looks like we have 2 points to put in. We have an x-intercept, so we'll go to 1/2, 0, and 0, 1/5. Right here. Right next to each other. Okay. So, rational functions like this, it's always like this or like this. We just have to figure out which one it is. In this case, it looks like we have 2 points down here. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect those dots. And I know just because of the type of graph it is that it's going to go in the opposite corner up here. And that is the graph of your function. Thanks again for your question, Riley, and I look forward to answering more of your questions using Snap Math in the future.